Hello and welcome to the Ending Body Burnout Show. We are your hosts, Chris and Philly, co-founders of a multi-award-winning functional medicine practice, serving busy people with energy, mood, and gut issues.
While busyness, addictive doing, people-pleasing, and perfectionism might be the norm, it's not normal, and it's a major contributor to health issues.
Our goal with this show is to give you a holistic root cause approach to healing your body so that you don't have to continue doctor or diet hopping or popping a gazillion supplements hoping something might stick.
So get ready to heal your body, get your spark back, deeply connect with yourself, and step into the life of your dreams.
Let's dive in.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. Today, Chris and I have interviewed one of our gorgeous clients, Sally, who has been working with us for over a year now as a private one-on-one client inside our Ending Body Burnout Method. And she just has had the most beautiful journey so far. And we invited her on the podcast to share what her journey has looked like inside the method and the transformations that she has had in her journey. So when she first reached out to us, she had been struggling 9 years with chronic health issues. She had eczema, actually that was like right back from as a little baby, but in the past 9 months before reaching out, she was really struggling with flare-ups with the eczema, chronic fatigue, getting sick all the time, and her mental health was really going down the pooper as well. And she shared with us how she had seen, I think, already 5 naturopaths and 3 medical doctors. Nothing that she had done so far had budged any symptoms at all. So she was drawn to work with us inside the Ending Body Burnout Method after coming across in our podcast randomly. And she was listening to some of the root cause coaching sessions that we have on the podcast, and she just started breaking down crying, not really knowing why, but just knowing that this was the next step in her healing journey, and especially the deep root cause metaphysical healing was something she'd never tried before, and something that she just felt in her heart would be the thing that would start not only helping her mental health, but also budging, shifting, changing, healing her physical symptoms. Now, the big focus of our conversation with Sally today are the warring parts within her that she discovered throughout the coaching sessions that were causing so much stress, exhaustion, and essentially body burnout. And she wrote a poem about these 2 parts, so cool as a cucumber, fickle as a pickle, and we are even blessed to be able to hear a reading of her poem on the podcast today, so it's really beautiful. But essentially these 2 parts were rooted in a deep root belief of self, of being unwanted, and Sally very generously shares what it looked like to arrive at that point, the deepest root cause, how she found it, what it looked like, and how she has been shifting and integrating the warring parts and changing this deep belief and what her mind, body, and life look like now. As she has been healing and thriving and growing and glowing. That is something that a lot of her friends and family members are saying about her now. You're glowing, Sally. So I know you're just going to love this episode. And if you do love and really resonate with Sally's story, we do have our free Rewire Your Brain to End Body Burnout 3-day live event happening. I think it's kicking off next week by the time that this podcast goes out. Yep. So in the show notes, I'll pop in the show note links, a link to sign up to the event. It's epic. I think currently we've got about 700 people registered, so we'll probably end up with about 1,000. And we get so much wonderful feedback from people who attend this free event, so it's definitely worth coming along. One, you'll get a lot of value from it. And also, if you are interested in working with us inside the Ending Body Burnout Method, it's a really great opportunity to get a feel for what it's like to work with Chris and I. Over the 3 days, we'll take you through our 3 main steps that we take our clients through to help end their body burnout. And also our doors do open to our Ending Body Burnout Method next week on 24th of September to the public. However, for those on our wait list, our doors will open up 48 hours early. So on 22nd of September, the doors will open. And if you join during the early bird period and you're on the wait list, you will get first dibs on a spot because we only have limited space. Our program includes one-on-one coaching and treatment plan consults, as well as unlimited one-on-one email support. I think we can only, I worked out, we can only welcome in about 25 or 26 people. So they do get snapped up pretty quickly. And also, if you're on the wait list and you join during the early bird period, you will also get $500 worth of early bird bonuses to help you end your body burnout. So definitely worth jumping on the wait list if you're keen. And I'll pop all those links in the show notes. Okay, let's dive into today's episode.
Welcome, guys, to this episode of the Ending Body Burnout Show. We have a special guest today. Thank you so much for joining us. We have Sally on the line. Sally is one of our clients. Welcome to the show, Sal.
Thanks for having me. It's very exciting.
Yay. We're so excited. Can I share what you shared when I invited you on? I think you said, I've listened to all your podcasts. I would be honored to be on your podcast.
I was like, this is my most favorite podcast and I'm being invited on it. Like, what?
It's like, you're so famous. I love it.
That's amazing. It's a really cool conversation to have. So I don't know if you're about to say this, but Sal's worked with us as a private client, and so just to see you work through challenges that you've had in especially recently, and to be able to witness this experience that you've gone through, and to watch and to be there. I've really enjoyed my experience personally, and it's been a fun time. It's been a challenging time. That sounds like you're the worst client ever. It's been a challenging time. No, it's been a joy and a privilege. But the other thing, I think this is going to be a really cool conversation to have, because there's things to work on. There's stuff to do, and I think this is a cool conversation to have, because you're well on your way, but there's a few tidbits and stuff to work on still. So this is a kind of maybe potentially a part one type story. Don't you think? So I just wanted to say that first off.
Yeah. And I think Sally's someone who's just wholeheartedly, robustly followed the process.
Yeah.
And the transformation that you've had so far has been beautiful to watch, and just things are going to get better and better. So how about we dive in, just so that people can kind of understand where you were before you reached out to us and started working through the Ending Body Burnout Method with us. What did life look like? What were you struggling with? Like, what were the main pain points that you no longer wanted?
Yeah, I was thinking about it all now, and actually this month it'll be a year since I started working with you guys. So yeah,
it's gone so fast.
Yeah.
maybe on your side it's like, no.
Oh, in some ways it's been fast. Other moments it felt slow. But then, I don't know, looking back, it's kind of like, yeah, it's gone exactly how it's supposed to go. So, but you don't realize that until you look back.
Yeah.
So what was it like before joining you guys? So like for about 9 years, I'd been dealing with specific health struggles. So like chronic fatigue, getting like head colds whenever I would exert myself, just even a little bit, dizzy spells, brain fog, easily stressed, easily anxious, like irregular or missing periods, and eczema, which I've had since birth, basically. So that's just, always been with me. And then like the year leading up to working with you guys, that was probably when my mental health was like at its worst. So I'd become like so absorbed with trying to get healthy. I was like burnt out from trying to do so many things. At one point, it was like I was trying all these things. I was just tired of diets and supplements. It didn't feel like anything was making a dent, and I was like losing joy in things that I loved, which like really scared me. And I like felt this void feeling where nothing I did filled it. So with all that stress, I don't think I realized how stressed I was until getting like some test results for like my DHEA. Like each time I would get those, the number was just getting like higher and higher. And my naturopath is like, "Are you stressed? What's going on?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And my doctor's like, "This might be cancer. We need to get scans done." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, this is serious." So at that point, that's when I was like, okay, something with stress needs to be worked on. And that's when I started thinking therapy was probably like the next option, because I'd never done any therapy. I'd only ever worked on physical stuff. And around that time was when I started listening to your podcast. I really like everything you guys were saying was just exactly the stuff I was struggling with, or my complaints of things. And then like I really clicked specifically with Chris's coaching episodes where he would coach clients. They really like touched me, and I felt really seen and called out, and I would be like getting teary. Yeah, that's it. I'd be like getting teary and be crying, and I was like, okay, there's definitely something here. There's something special about it. So I was like, this might be the missing piece.
At the time, like especially when you were crying and it's just like, this is touching me. Like, did you know why? Or were you kind of like, I don't know why I'm feeling like this, but I'm being pulled to something.
And it would come at the strangest moments where I'd be like busy folding washing, like listening to the podcast episode, and next thing I just had like tears running down my face, and I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah. You always know that there's something special going to happen on the other side when you have those experiences.
Yeah, and like that was just from listening to podcast episodes. So I feel like the transformation was already starting before even actually working with you guys. Like just listening to all the episodes, like I was already starting to like rewire all of my thoughts and patterns. Just starting that.
Super powerful. And you sharing your story too will be a gift for others as well. So we always talk about collecting evidence, and the more evidence you can collect that healing is possible. And sometimes that can be hard to collect it internally in yourself, like especially if someone was feeling the way that you were before you reached out, kind of like, I've tried everything, I've done all the things, I'm so sick of it all. But yeah, so easiest way to start collecting evidence is finding stories of others who have broken through challenges, but also especially like someone like you who had a lot of chronic health issues and you tried a whole heap of stuff and nothing was shifting anything. So thank you for being here.
I have an experience that I remember of our. I just pull up my notes from our first coaching call. And I've just written Dropbox link has health info, and I remember you'd accumulated a lot of information and data, and I just think it's interesting that was one of the notes that I wrote at the start of our coaching, is that there's a bunch of data. There's a bunch of things, and I've accumulated it and I've popped it into a Dropbox so you can read all the info and data. Do you remember setting that up?
It's for that specifically, because at this point I'd already worked with 5 naturopaths, and maybe like 3 or 4 doctors, and I was so over repeating my story.
Yep.
So I was just like, here is everything, read that, and then let's talk.
Yeah.
It's really
super
funny.
common too.
It's interesting because my style of things is not to so much to go into the physical side of things. So when I'm reading through the Dropbox data, there's symptoms and I think this is the value of being in a team with Phil, is because some of that the specific
functional medicine stuff.
This is stuff that like we can work on our coaching without necessarily diving deep into symptomology, which is different, I'm assuming, to at the start what happened with you. You know, you were very focused with the other practitioners on symptoms, and causes of the symptoms. But then when we got into our coaching calls, what was that like? You know, like with the root cause coaching, how did you feel about that? What was your experience with that?
I think at first it was like, all the focus was on physical, and I knew, especially starting with you, Chris, that you weren't interested in the physical stuff.
I mean, you're like watching.
It's the little portal to go deeper.
You're watching my face, and you're mentioning like symptoms, and I'm like, what?
So I like, straight away I was already like, I'm not even going to bother like bringing up symptoms with Chris because he's not interested in that. We'll just get straight into
just at a metaphorical level.
So, and I think definitely because it wasn't something I'd worked on, it was like, okay, this has to be the missing piece. But I think there were a lot of things that I was still like, oh, that's still just a physical thing. I think I put a lot of the focus and thinking it's just those physical things, you know, if I stick to the diet, if I keep up with the supplements, you know, all that sort of stuff, that's like, oh, that'll work. But none of it was shifting. And I think it was after attempting some physical stuff with you guys, and that's still not shifting. And then I just like completely dropped all interest of physical, and I was just like, all right, metaphysical only, let's go. And then
going all in. Yeah.
It was a fascinating, it always is. It's very fascinating to watch that symptoms, especially chronic symptoms that have stuck around since birth, have often, if not always, some sort of a metaphorical or metaphysical or some sort of communicatory cause or you know, there's something in there, and instead of, you know, the physical side of things, symptoms and root causes of the physical side of things, it's important to dig into that, but it's not the only thing. And and what was your opinion right there, and how did you feel about not changing track, but just leaning into the more metaphysical side of things?
It took quite a while, specifically for physical symptoms, like take my eczema. That one was like, it's ages trying to figure out, wait, how does this one go with like metaphysical? Because it was something that was so constant, I couldn't really see or feel like ups and downs with it. And I remember, I think there were different coaching calls you guys did where, you know, you have to like dig into, you know, what's the meaning behind this. And I just kept being like, well, I'm itchy. Like, what else is there to it? Like, I think it took a while to like dig into, but then, once looking into all of the thoughts and feelings behind stuff and then comparing it to eczema, then I was like, oh, okay, I think I'm starting to see how these relate. And then with my eczema starting to improve and it shifting and changing, and the only thing I was changing was my mindset and thoughts. I wasn't doing diets or supplements, and it was like, okay, here it is. I'm starting to feel and see this now.
So cool.
Jinx.
So you're, I don't know, like, the Ending Body Burnout Method, and specifically Spark, which is the metaphysical side of healing, it's linear, but it's also spiral. So we wanted to focus on like the first part of getting to the deep root cause belief and the different parts that you discovered about yourself. So I might just for the listeners, especially for those who might not have heard a lot of our podcasts, but when we're diving into the metaphysical healing, we have a part of the process called Spark, and that's broken up into three modules or three parts or three steps. So the first step is reckoning, and that's getting clear on the patterns that you're playing, dysfunctional patterns that are showing up, including your symptoms, and then moving into the past to looking at where did all that come from and what's the deepest root cause belief or the deepest fear you have about yourself that's affecting and causing these patterns to show up. And then getting clear on what you want. So that's kind of part one. Part two is then, with all of this information, now it's time to rewire, re-regulate, reprogram, and then the last part is purposeful living. So really becoming intentional in terms of how you're living your life, how you want to be. You dive really deep into present and past state. So that's like getting clear on all the patterns, all the data points, and then all these little data points are kind of like the breadcrumbs that take you back into the past to work out where did all this start. So we might dive in there, and specifically around what you discovered about yourself, that you had two pretty big warring parts within you. Had you heard of parts work before? And like when Chris started, because I think it would have been in a coaching session when you started looking at like, well, what are these different parts of you and what are they trying to say and what do they mean? What were your thoughts when you learnt about the different parts within you?
Yeah, I never heard of it, but it made sense like straight away. I loved it. It was like putting into words what I was feeling and didn't know what was going on, and like my brain just felt so frazzled. And so to have it explained of these two parts of you that are like at war, it's like, oh, that's so cool, that makes sense. And I was looking because I have recorded every session that Chris and I have ever done.
Every session. That's amazing.
Every session.
How that you have a very capacitous hard drive. Nice work.
Like it. Yeah. So on my phone, I've recorded them all, which has been so good. I highly recommend that for anyone who I would go back and listen to it afterwards, and I would like see and feel things differently. So I was like hearing myself talk, hearing what I was saying and feeling. I was like, oh, okay, like I'm seeing it differently now, or being able to remember what Chris was teaching me or explaining, so that was good to refer to. So I was looking and listening back to some of the old ones to figure out where specifically what we're talking about today, what was said, what happened at that time. And I think it was like session like 7 or 8 that this whole warring parts thing came up. So
that's so cool. And the warring parts, like it's literally when someone, and by the way, like until you do this work, everyone will have warring parts within them, but it's exhausting. Like, and it is a deeper source of burnout. So until like the healing benefit of being able to identify them and then integrating them means that it's like, like we can all relax now. We can all heal now. And it creates like a lot of regulation in nervous system, unconscious mind, brain, which is lovely. So now you've written a poem.
It was session 7. I've just counted.
Session 7.
Yeah,
7.
I just counted. There you go. You are good. Nice work. We'll come
to the poem soon. But the poem really was what prompted me to ask you to come on the podcast, because I'm like, this is amazing. But so can you tell us about the two warring parts, or the two major ones? Cucumber and pickle.
So like everyone has warring parts and everyone will have different names for them, and yeah, cucumber and pickle is the names of mine. So it all started, I think, session 7 was it, with Chris.
Yeah.
I was telling him all about how growing up, Dad would call me cool as a cucumber. And in stressful moments, I would appear calm. And I took a lot of pride in that, like being that way, being seen that way. But I also felt it was kind of a bit of a facade. It's a bit fake. So, um, I felt like there was this other side of me that I was trying to keep buried all the time. So yeah, when I referenced this to Chris, then he was like, "This is parts work," and said, "So cucumber's one part of you, and then there's this other part trying to say something." And he said that cucumber's a bit of a bully and is like hogging the microphone and not letting this other part speak. And this other part has like valuable things to say, and that he wants to hear from that part. And I found that really funny because I was like, I'm Chris, pretty sure all you've been hearing is this other part. Like, and he's like, "Mm, no, I think cucumber's still in control."
Amazing.
And so how did you discover it was pickle, hey? Pickle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other part that needed the microphone.
Yeah. So I think how it happened. So I was tasked with finding a name for this other part.
I
and
love how you
couldn't
said
think of
that. Tasked. I was tasked.
I
Yeah.
was tasked.
Chris made me do it.
Yeah, you gave me homework. You said find a name for this other part, and I couldn't find anything that wasn't like super negative because I didn't like this other part of me, and I was like, I'm supposed to be like positive about it. So yeah, everything I was just like, none of this feels right. And then our next session, I think it was like then like literally the next session, like 8 or 9 maybe, I think that that Chris was like, I've got a name. Like, Chris, do you remember coming up with it?
I think I was riffing, but cucumber.
Were
it's
you
funny.
sitting on the couch or something?
Oh, I can't remember, but
Sally remembers
Was
because
I-
she has
was
it
I-
recorded.
I think I was eating one maybe at the time, was I? Or I was at IGA and I saw maybe my sister-in-law, Talissa, shout out if you're watching. She ate a pickle with
Hi,
her
Talissa.
staff members.
Made to milk. That's her
Hashtag
business.
I'll tell her she got a shout out in this one. She can share it for us. But yeah, pickles. Warhead. I think it's some sort of artificial one. Anyway, I think that's how I saw it. I'm pretty sure. Is that right? Did I tell you?
You're so close. And I only know because I've got it recorded.
Yeah, that's cool. Tell me.
You said you were eating a pickle while sitting on the lounge, and you were like, "Oh, hey, pickle. That's the answer."
That's
Right.
the answer. Like, it used to be a cucumber and now it's a shriveled little pickle.
So I was like, "That's perfect," because like pickles ferment, they go sour, salty, and then you were like, "Oh, I've got goosebumps!" Like it was, yeah. It's like, oh, so good. And then we're like laughing about like, I feel like I'm in a pickle. So it just
Play on words.
I love it.
Okay.
And 'cause
Yeah,
it was
go.
like the side of me was like being calm and cool. No one really knew what was going on. And then this other part of me is like super stressed, overthinking everything and trying to hide that. So
Yeah. And it sounds like the cool as cucumber was the mask as well. It's kind of like, I'll put on a mask and I'll people please and I'll be kind and generous and like I'll do all the things for everyone else and like it's all good. I'll put a smile on my face. And then pickles over the other side. It's just like, no, we're not okay. So, what did it look like? I guess like in understanding those and then being able to look back and then experiencing these two parts, because the two parts don't come together automatically the moment that you see them. So what did you start noticing in terms of how they were warring with each other and how it was contributing to burnout and like even physical health issues and mental health issues?
yeah, I think it was interesting, like I started like kind of writing conversations between them of what are they fighting about, what's going on. Both parts had rules to live by, and there was always opposing. Cucumber side, did not trust Pickle at all, and Pickle was scared to say, how I really feel, what the reaction might be. It was like either I was feeling I was being too much or I wasn't enough, and I wanted to be relaxed, but I wanted to be like hyper vigilant, and I wanted to not care what anybody thought, but I was super sensitive to what people would say. And I'd be telling myself off and be like, if you can just apply yourself more, like get your act together, be disciplined, just do more, then you'll be okay. And then another part of me is like, but I'm tired, I don't want to do that anymore.
It's like a massive tug of war.
That's a big tug of war.
Did it lead to analysis paralysis a lot too, where it's just like, oh, I need to do this, but I want to do that, but I can't do this and I have to do that, and then it's just like shut down, can't be bothered?
Yeah, pretty much all the time. It was like the back and forth. And then I would literally be laying on my bed, just like staring at the ceiling, being like, come on, move. Like, you've got to get up. And it'd just be like, no, I can't. Like, and it was never from not knowing what to do. It was just having too many options and not kind of agreeing on any of them. Like, both Cucumber and Pickle sides had their idea, and if I chose one, then the other felt like it was wrong, and so I just felt like I was failing no matter what I was doing.
Yes. Wow. I know so many people will resonate, and like I think back when I was in body burnout and very dysregulated and stressed out and chaotic, I could like take exactly what you're talking about and plonk it into many different situations. Like one that came up for me a lot was around money, because I had so many like money scarcity and money trauma and all sorts of stuff. And it's like, should I buy this? No, I shouldn't. Should I save this? And then like constantly getting stuck in this analysis paralysis and then never making a decision. Now you said, well, talking about Pickle and Cucumber, but there was something around you felt like they were both felt like they were unwanted, which linked back to when you were doing the work through the first part of Spark, really getting to the deepest root cause belief that was causing the body burnout and this warring and this dysregulation in the first place. How is that showing up for you? I am unwanted, and like in these parts as well.
Yeah. So I think using all the thoughts and feelings of like Cucumber and Pickle helped me uncover what my root belief was. Because, it's interesting. They're both fighting. But this was what I found fascinating with learning about the whole parts work, is that the two warring parts actually want the same thing. And they're also like afraid of the same thing. Once I figured out my root belief of like I'm unwanted, and then I could see it, like there was literally the two parts of me that were warring. That's what they were both afraid of happening, and everything they were doing was to try to prevent anyone else figuring that out.
But they both just wanted to be wanted. It's just like, look at me, love me, listen to me.
So it was like, they'd both be like, this thing will make us wanted, and like, no, this thing will make us wanted. And so that fighting of each side, like trying to please everyone. But the things that they like both sides agreed on was believing unwanted and believing that like eventually, no matter what you do, no matter what I do, people are going to be tired of me and not want me anymore, especially if I don't contribute usefully in some way. So I have to give a reason to be wanted, to be loved. I can't just be myself. And I believed that Cucumber was the what people wanted. So it's like thinking nobody wants Pickle. Like we keep that very hidden, But yeah, this other side of me, like, Pickle side's just being like, like I have things to say. I can't keep this in anymore. So yeah. It was like they both thought each other was the enemy, But what was actually the enemy was this fear, this belief. So, that was interesting to figure out.
Yeah. If anyone's watching this on YouTube, Chris did just share some art.
I haven't shared it yet.
Oh, you haven't shared it? Oh, sorry. Okay.
Sal, can I share some artwork with everybody? I just wanted to ask you if that's okay.
Yes.
Is that cool?
Yep.
She has shared.
All right, here we go. For those of you who are on YouTube and watching this, just pop that up here. Let me go.
Have you got the ones of them fighting?
I've got, I'll
send it to you.
I don't know if I do, but I've got this one. I'll see if I can find the other one. But yeah, that's so cool. I love it. I might have the other ones up there.
Yeah, we'll come back to the artwork and the creative process around that in a second. Okay. Oh, just like you mentioned before around one of the coaching calls or maybe one of the group workshops, you were digging into like eczema. What are you trying to tell me? I don't know. You're just itchy. But then you started getting deeper. Like, was there any connection with like the eczema or the fatigue or the hormones that were connected to, like, it's going to be connected to the root cause belief, but could you see how they were showing up in the warring parts as well?
Yeah, I know in some ways it was just so constant. It was kind of hard to see where it would really stand out in particular areas. Probably one of my clearest ones that I noticed, like in my poem and reference it, is like aching fingers. So there were very specific situations in my life where my fingers would start aching and I'd be like, where is this coming from? And when I looked at each thing, it was very clear it was to do with being unwanted. And that was actually a big way that I was able to figure out what my root belief was, because it was so specific, the areas of when my fingers would ache and like, how could that be connected with this belief? So yeah, there were different times that my body would be bringing up these signals. And yeah, looking back at past experiences of things happening around the time of something that I felt unwanted, and then I'd end up having like a really bad like pneumonia or like head cold after a situation happens. So just looking back at all the patterns of, you know, what was going on in my life at that time and then what health issue popped up at that time. So I was sort of like, yeah. And I mean, for anyone, it can be any health issue. It's not actually the health issue itself. It's that something pops up and it doesn't just pop up for no reason. So.
Speaking of popping up, I just found the pickles.
Oh, they're
the
ones wearing. Would you be comfortable sharing where I am unwanted came from? Like the moment that you accused yourself of being unwanted, the moment you started feeling these feels of people don't want me.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's kind of funny because I kind of have two stories for it. And because it's like they're supposed to be like the first memory for it, and I couldn't figure out what that was, but I had a different memory that was what helped me figure it out. So I think I was like 5 or 6 at the time, and I had these two friends, they're sisters, and we were just hanging out together. And looking at it now, I definitely think I already had the belief and insecurity there, and this was just like the confirmation of it. So I just like, I turn around and I look at them and I'm like, you guys are my best friends. And they like look at me and they're like, you're not our best friend. They're like, yeah, nope, you're not. And I was just like, oh, okay.
Awkward.
Very cucumber in that moment. And then after that happened, like I went home and I told my family what happened, and they're like, oh, you know, those girls are silly, they don't know what they're going on about, or that sort of thing. And the next time I saw those girls, I was like, hey, we're friends, right? And they're like, yeah, what are you talking about? Like, I'm like, oh, okay. And like I knew like they had struggles and stuff like that, so I always just focused on, you know, why they might have done that and reasoned on it or all that sort of stuff. But I never dug into how did it make me feel. I just I just straight away was like, oh, well, maybe they didn't mean that. Maybe they misunderstood me. Maybe they were having a bad time or whatever. And yeah, I never looked up for me. But then doing all this work and one of my times of journaling things to send to Chris, I was typing out that story. I think it was a question around like, when have you felt like you weren't enough? And that memory came up and I like started typing it out and I just like started bawling my
Amazing.
eyes out. And I'd never cried back when that happened. But like, 20 years later and I'm there like crying, like where did that come from?
Awesome.
And so when I worked through that one with Chris and I was like, I don't get it, it's not the first memory, but it hurts. And it's like, because it was confirmation. So
yeah, I think it's just important just to highlight that something happened to you. You brushed it off. You tried to, justify why it's just their stuff. They've just got things going on. Oh, now they're my friend. But the fact that you had an emotional, visceral response to it when it was safe to know and to feel, like it's just such evidence that this stuff that sometimes seems insignificant gets literally stuck in our bodies and it's causing dysfunction. Until you can see it and pull it to the surface and essentially let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that was like where I came up with figuring out the unwanted. I came up with like, I'm not enough at that point, but then more digging and stuff, it eventually came to not wanted. But I was still like, I want to know what the first memory is because I'm pretty sure that's not it because I have memories from earlier than that. And so one time I just asked myself like, well, what is just your first memory ever? And for me, it was one of me in my cot. So
you were like 2 years old or something, weren't you?
Yeah, I was like 2. So, and I'd had a nightmare. And I very clearly remember in detail what this nightmare was. And it wasn't anything like super intense or scary, but I knew, I still remember every detail of it. And when I woke up all distressed from this nightmare, and it was like early morning and mum and dad were in bed, and I like got up in the cot and I was like looking at them and I was like trying to like call out to them because I wanted hugs and cuddles, and neither of them woke up when I was calling out. And then I was just stuck there sad and that was it. That's the first memory the first distressing memory I have. How to come to I'm unwanted from that, I don't know how I would have figured that out, but it was interesting. That memory has stayed with me, and like I'll be going to sleep and that memory will repeat in my head and stuff like that. So it was always there, but it wasn't until digging in other areas and I was like, well, that memory has to be it because there's like emotional feeling around it. It's the earliest memory I have. It was distressing. So yeah, just logically, even from a little child, I knew like, well, they were asleep, they didn't hear me. That's all it was, but something else was being created in my head. So
yeah, I mean, and the work that you have gotten to do is to go back and to give that little girl, like both the 2-year-old but also the 5-year-old, exactly what she needed in that moment that she didn't receive, so that she could feel loved and safe and protected and so wanted. And this is why it's like, it's the seeming, like how many babies have woken up, cried out to their parents, and their parents have been fast asleep. It's like this stuff happens to every single child, and it will cause issues later on in life depending on like the child and what their actual defining moment is. It's craziness.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, just on that, perhaps for every single child.
Well, I mean, I'm not talking about like just the
but
cot, but no child will come out of their 0 to 7 years without having some sort of unkind meaning that they've made about themselves.
Yeah, and then my so that's what I know. That's what you mean. But then there's like not every hard experience hits the same for every single person, you know. So therefore the point is, for you in this moment, it did hit hard and it did resonate years later as well. It stayed there. It was staying there unconsciously, creating conflict and tension and frustration and insecurity and patterns. And it doesn't matter that some people don't or didn't find those situations hard. You did, and it didn't. You didn't get out unscathed. You made some meanings about yourself, and you carried those through your life, from little 2-year-old Sal all the way to big 22-year-old Sal, right? Hang on, how old are you again?
25?
25, 22. Now you're 22.
26, but that's
26.
20-year-old Sal. So you've gone from being a little girl with little feelings and emotions to being a little girl in a big girl's body, you know. So this experience has been all about you finding out what those little girl isms are and rewriting them, growing up, challenging them, changing them,
Becoming the mum, becoming the adult, becoming the queen.
Yeah.
And the leader of Cucumber and Pickle. So back to Cucumber and Pickle.
I love it. Yeah.
Would you mind? Okay. So this is not a requirement. I'm going to just pre-frame this in case someone's listening to this and they're like, do I have to write a poem if I join the Ending Body Burnout Method to get the results? The answer is no.
Yes. Oh, no.
However, personally, I think the creative process, the whole rewriting, reprogramming, rewiring is so creative. We're using our imagination. We're taking back our power. There's different types of modalities that we tap into. One of them is writing, not necessarily poems, but I think poetry is such a lovely, it really taps into the unconscious mind. So, I mean, we'll talk a little bit more about the writing process and how you're feeling, you know, after and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, just thought I'd pre-frame that. So give us a reading of Cucumber and Pickle. And if you want to share anything before you jump in to read it, please feel free to do so.
Can I share the words at the same time? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Can you cut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, so before getting started with it, this is, like you'd mentioned before, Philly, of this is the beginning part of the program. So it was reckoning, present state, past state. That's sort of where it is specifically focused on. It's kind of like a summary of all of that, and this references a lot of the program. So it starts with Cucumber talking, and then Pickle is talking, and then they're fighting back and forth, and then a third voice comes in, which is me, with the knowledge that I got from you guys, trying to get them to work together. So that's the order of the poem.
Awesome.
All right. Keep it together, keep it cool. Don't let people see you be a fool. If you don't make a fuss, then you'll be a must. To feel secure, just be mature. People please to put them at ease. Hold the mask on tight, don't give people a fright. Always prepare so you don't feel despair. Embrace the doubt that it might not work out. Pretend not to care when you feel them all stare. Your vulnerability is a liability. Your needs don't matter. Always keep them the latter. Don't notice the feels. They're not a big deal. Don't be too happy. They'll think you're sappy. Don't be too sad. They'll think you're a drag. Others have it worse. Who are you to burst? Just have gratitude. That'll fix your attitude. Stick with a smile, that's the right style. Be a peacemaker and a caretaker. Keep it chill that you have some skills. Lower expectations, then there'll be celebrations. Do your best to keep it fresh. You are calm, you are cool, yes, everyone's been fooled. Don't be a bummer, stay as cool as a cucumber. I ferment and lament all the things that I say. It happens every day. I overthink faster than they can blink. Over-explain so I won't be blamed. Overshare because I really do care. All this variety gives me anxiety. What do I know? Where do I go? I can't trust what I'm thinking. I feel like I'm sinking. External validation, always a temptation. Addictive doing continues brewing. So much skepticism. Thank you, perfectionism. My opinions can be strong, but I don't want to be wrong. Speaking up could get me snubbed. My quirky side I try to hide. My love of details kind of derails. Lots of passions are not always in fashion. I continue to moan from my imposter syndrome. It feels wrong to call myself strong. It does feel bleak that I believe I am weak. It's a real blow that I feel I'm so slow. I'll stay muted because I feel I am stupid. I feel so pathetic when everything's hectic. I must do more so I'm not a bore to prove my worth to be on this earth. My feeling to earn starts to burn, always on the brain. Do people think I'm strange? Scared of rejection and loss of connection. Fingers are aching, they won't stop shaking. Mask is falling, I can't keep stalling. So many fears, it brings me to tears. If I don't suppress, I'll be a mess. Hold the lid on tight, it'll be all right. I then sour by the hour in this glass tower. Stuck in a jar, new things feel too far. I keep it bottled up, my skin is ready to erupt. Bumpy and lumpy, it makes me feel grumpy. I want to scream, but I realize that's too mean. I say I'm okay, but I need something new to say. But the words in my head have only said, don't be a dill, take a chill pill. I am so fickle, just like a pickle. You're lazy. Well, you're crazy. You're a real bummer, cucumber. And you're a pickle that's totally fickle. This feels so rough that we're never enough. We feel so haunted that we're not wanted. Stop. Haven't you seen? That's really mean. You both need to cut it out. This causes burnout. You pick and you blame, yet you both want the same. You need each other to uncover the mystery that feels so risky, the real root cause, the thing beneath it all. Can you recall? What are your patterns? When did it happen? What's the problem with that, you feeling so flat? Where did it begin? What was this so-called sin? What did you feel? Was it really a big deal? It's time to say sorry. There's no need to worry. It's okay you were wary. It's okay it feels scary. But the monster under the bed is just in your head, and it's actually quite funny because it's just a dust bunny. Yes, you felt daunted, but you truly are wanted. You don't need to yearn that feeling to earn. Stop being so tough, you are enough. Yes, you created this. Yes, it's your fault, but no need to sulk. You made this, so you can change this. This was your choice, so use your voice. You are safe, you are well, no more need to dwell. You know your limiting belief, you can now have relief. Continue to embark with that feeling of spark. Give it some time, and then you will shine.
Oh, I love it. So good.
Amazing. So awesome.
I don't know if, well, I think you probably noticed because I think your voice changed depending on which character you were reading. But that last part, I'm just like, that's Sally. Sally's taken back her power. Woo! Thank you so much for sharing that.
Well, thank you.
I love it. I think you said, was this the first poem you've ever written? Oh, yeah. And it just came out. I don't think you did any edits. It was just like...
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I wrote pretty much the whole thing in one go. And then like added to it over the week. And it was kind of like, yeah, my unconscious just like took over, and I'm just like busy typing it out on my phone. And then like this other part of me is like, what are you doing? Like, we don't write poems. And this other part's like, I'm busy.
I'm writing a poem.
Can I say that this is actually a big deal for you, isn't it? For a couple of reasons. As growing up, you words weren't things that naturally came as didn't just flow out to you, like spelling and putting words together. This is something that you've worked on. But also we spoke about stories that you've got around words and learning and knowledge and things like that. Hey, like that's so to be on a podcast and read your words is a pretty big deal in my opinion. Wouldn't you think? What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
So I'm just so proud of you. That's just amazing. Good on you. And also your art. Like you're a talented, wonderful artist, and to be able to come on a podcast and share art and to be vulnerable and open enough to be able to do that. Where you've also had there's stories and thoughts around that too. Hey, so good on you, Sal. Nice work. It's so cool. It's awesome.
I'm getting a bit teary.
That's a big thing to notice for me. Like before, like I've always loved art. I've always been creative, but I've never felt like I could just create my own things. I've always been someone that likes to copy or, follow tutorials on YouTube. And like, there's nothing wrong with that. But I always felt like it wasn't always me, but I didn't feel like I could do my own. And then doing this program, I've just been creating more and more stuff that is actually from my head. Like, that's thing. And like this poem, like I was like on a high happy feeling for a few weeks after writing it. It was like anytime something happened that was like not good, I'd just be like, yeah, but like I wrote a poem, so
it's so cool. Well, that was my question. Like, did you feel like there was obviously you've done a lot of work to get to the point where then all these words just came out as a poem, but did you feel like the creative process or actually putting the poem down onto paper had some sort of an unconscious shift in terms of rewriting the unwanted belief, as well as integrating the two parts together?
Yeah, it was like kind of a gathering everything and closing the chapter on all that sort of stuff. Like I was saying to you before, every line is pretty much a session with Chris. So there's stories and things I discovered and realized, and every line has stuff underneath it. And so kind of just having this little summary overview, it felt like this is, I could like let it go after that. And it was relatable. I felt really validated in what I'd written, but I could also see I don't really want this anymore. Like, I don't really want to think and feel this way. Like, I'm kind of over that now. Let's do something new. So
yeah.
Just taking time out for a second. I'm not sure if the screen has gone blank at all. It's just disappeared from me. Yep, cool. Okay.
Good.
Yep.
Okay. When we were chatting via email about like booking in for this podcast recording and you were just sharing some thoughts, you said in your email, you like sent through the poem and then like a little bit about it. And then I think at the end of the email, you said, I love them both now. I don't feel like there's a war between them anymore. Can you share like what that feels like, looks like in your everyday life and how things have changed?
Yeah, I had to think about this a bit, like when you sent the question on that, trying to figure out, okay, what does it look like now? What does it feel like? So like my mind feels quieter now. Like the poem was focusing on all like the dysfunctional behaviors and struggles. But like I also can now embrace all the positive traits of these two parts of me, you know, like when you get rid of the root belief and the fears, then the both sides have good elements. You know, like cucumber is like peaceful and easygoing and patient, you know, isn't worried about everything being like their responsibility. It's like, no, I don't have to worry about that. But then like pickle side is like passionate and deep, sensitive, has a lot to say on many things.
It's got the microphone when it wants it now.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, and yeah, I think, you know, cucumber likes to stay under the radar, but pickle likes to be involved. So depending on the situation, what's happening, like both have their place. So it's not like a back and forth of it should be this way or it shouldn't be that way. And whenever that does start happening, I'm like recognizing it faster and then just working through it.
Yeah.
And just always remembering that both sides want the same thing, and it's always coming from like wanting to protect, and it's coming from love, wanting the best for me. Like, so knowing that's what the intention is, and then figuring out, okay, so what is that going to be?
Yeah.
So,
Amazing.
Yeah. So cool. Have you noticed there's been a change in like mental health, mood, even like energy, anything physical since they've...
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think I feel lighter, less pressure. Things don't feel as high stakes anymore. Like when I feel there are things that need improving, it doesn't feel devastating. It's just like, oh, there's the next thing to work on, whatever. It's not like a, you know, the be all and end all when I'm like not achieving the thing I want or whatever. It's like, it's fine. It's fine. And then, yeah, physically, my energy has improved so much. I'm not getting sick regularly. And I've had it where I've been around many people that have very contagious things, and I'm not picking up any of them.
Wow.
And then, yeah, like my eczema has improved so much. It's not gone yet, but I intend for it to be completely gone.
It'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but it's definitely so much better from what it was. And literally all I've been working on is my mind. Like I haven't focused on the diet and supplements. Like I think I'll keep doing those things as time goes on, but that hasn't been the focus.
Yeah.
All of this.
It's kind of like the body system support has just been sort of in the background. It's like, you know, brain needs a bit of support, gut needs some support, but I'd say 95% of your energy and intention has been around metaphysically healing the parts of you.
I had like negative feelings around trying to take supplements and do diets, and I was like, ugh, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I was starting to feel better, I was like, oh yeah, I can take that supplement. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, just it was interesting that I think everyone's probably got their own order that things work for them. And yeah, for me, it was like shifting the mindset, and then these physical things were starting to work more. Which is like the complete opposite of what I had been working on for like the last 9 years.
Yeah. Which is the definition of insanity after 9 years. It's like dramatic, different approach is needed here.
I have a question. How's your relationship with yourself right now?
Much better. Yeah, it's I like and see my value and my worth, and anytime when things come up, I think it's more just the old habits, trying to like get those away. So I'll still have moments where I'll be like in my head going, oh, you're just annoying, or like, oh, don't be stupid, or things like that. And I'm like, wait, hang on, no, we don't say that anymore. So there's a lot of active reframing. But there's different moments where be like, oh, normally I'd be, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. And now it doesn't, I don't put that kind of pressure on myself anymore. So,
Awesome.
and then when there are things that I want to do, I'm just like, yeah, I'm capable of that. And if I'm not, that's also okay.
It's okay to try and fail because it's not failure, it's feedback.
I love it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so good. Thank you so much. I know there will be so many people who will resonate with, like, especially when you were describing like what these warring parts felt like. So if there's anyone who's listening who's just like, oh, is that what is happening underneath? Whoa, okay. They're starting to recognize that they might have some warring parts within them. What would be some words of wisdom that could help them, help guide them?
Yeah, so
Write a poem. No.
Could be.
Could be.
I think the poem is kind of the end result after the work.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, yeah, look out for what you start doing after all of that, what just starts coming up. So I think for people figuring stuff out, it's like look at yourself with curiosity, leave like condemning judgment out of it. Just look at everything as data, shame and embarrassment, pride, even logical reasoning can be like a block stopping you from digging into things. So just, yeah, looking at it for what it is, don't shame yourself for it. And then remembering that whatever you uncover is way less scary once it's named. And like the parts of you that are warring, they want the same thing, and they want what's best, even if the behavior is actually not great. So it's like knowing what the intention is underneath. So looking at it from that way, it's like, you know, you're not the enemy. And so that just opens up, so much opportunity.
And
amazing.
It's love is like, I think what I heard in there too, and I don't know if you use the word, but it's love. So it's like, oh, you're not trying to be annoying and you're actually not, there's no bad parts. You're just trying to protect me. So then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I can actually extend some love and compassion to these parts. I personally think that naming them and turning them into a character like you did, Cucumber and Pickle, makes a huge difference as well, because then it's not ambiguous and abstract anymore. Then it's not like, oh, why am I like this? And it's so annoying. It's like, oh, hang on. No, there's just two parts of me that were created when I was a kid or a teen. Okay, cool. What are you trying to say to me? And then if they do pop up,
Don't be a dill.
yeah, it's
Take a
kind of
chill
like
pill.
you can start talking to them as if they're a little friend, or, you know, just a little child that needs a little bit of love and reassurance and a reminder that, like, I'm in charge now. I'm an adult now. You can go and play. I'm here now to take leadership. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. This has been wonderful.
Yeah, so good.
If you could go back to tell your 1 year younger self something that also
cool.
might be a really powerful kind of like piece of advice to people who are listening who might not have started this journey yet, what would it be?
Yeah, so what I would want to tell my past self and everybody else I like telling them, it's like, you're not broken. Like, your body doesn't hate you. There's always a reason and intention behind every symptom, pattern of behavior. Like, it's showing up for a reason. Like, your your mind, your body's trying to tell you something. And yeah, like when you approach it that way, there's so many more possibilities, and it's like you don't have to put up with what you're dealing with. Like there's way more options out there than what, majority of people think is possible. It's like, yeah, we can't have things perfect, but we can actually have things a lot better than we might think. So yeah, I think and just probably one of the biggest things that I really clicked and understood doing this whole process is like understanding your worth and value as a human being, and that can't be hurt or changed or stopped. Like one of my affirmations that I made was like my worth and value is separate to this. My worth and value can't be measured, earned, lost. Like it's a completely separate thing. And this is what we all get really caught up on. If we do the thing, then we're a good person. But it's like if you swap it around, be like, no, like I'm already enough, therefore I can do things. Not I have to do things to be enough. And it's just crazy how much like none of us really know that.
No.
So that's like. And yeah, like it doesn't make certain behaviors okay. It doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want. But it's so important for us to understand how precious we actually are. And if everyone can really feel into that, like we're gonna treat ourselves much better and treat other people better as well. So just it makes a big difference.
Look at you go. I love it. If you could go back in time and like watch this podcast interview, I reckon your 1 year self would be like, I love her. She's amazing. I want to be like her. She's so inspiring.
So cool. Oh, Sal, thanks. I'm speechless. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for doing this podcast episode, sharing your story. Thanks for being open. Thanks for all the good times. It's been really cool. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
And everybody else. Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, she just said we're amazing.
Oh, you can say that anytime.
Not that we need external validation.
Yeah.
But it's still nice to have.
Exactly.
It's still nice to have a reflection back of what you already believe about yourself. All right.
Amazing.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to.
Have the best week ever. Chat to you soon.
Thank you so much for listening. We so appreciate you. If you'd like to give us extra smiles, drop us a review and spread the love by sharing this episode.
You can also rate your own state of burnout and the root cause contributors by taking our Ending Body Burnout Assessment on our website. And if you're interested in learning about our group or one-on-one Ending Body Burnout programs, shoot us a DM via Instagram or Facebook.
Have the best day ever.